What's up guys, you're watching MediaTek Tech. I'm Rahul Sethi and it's time for a new Realme smartphone. Realme has announced the Realme 3 in the budget segment, and the budget segment is going to be quite crazy with the incoming Redmi Note 7, and we'll have to see what the Realme 3 brings to the table. Let's quickly unbox the device and take a look at the phone's design. I'm told that the Realme 3 will come with a very new design. A design refresh is what Realme needed in the first place, because most of its smartphones were repeatedly coming with a very similar design, and we'll see in a moment what the design is all about. First up in the box is a case. That is a clear case, a TPU one that Realme bundles with its smartphones most of the times, and which is quite a good thing. Then there is an important information guide that gives me all the information about the warranty of the smartphone and the battery precaution that you need to take, also about the recycling of the stuff. Then there is a quick guide that tells you about the ports, how to set up the smartphone, and its operating temperature and the SAR value. Let's quickly take a look at the SAR value of this one. So for India, the SAR value for head is 1 watt per kg and 0.456 watt per kg for body, as we saw in the recent statistical data that many of the Xiaomi and OnePlus phones have quite high SAR values. So that is something you should watch out for as a health concern. Anyways, wow, this is the new Realme 3. Let me pull it out of the wraps, and looks quite gorgeous. I mean, it's quite a depart from the previous Realme smartphones, and it looks quite expensive. From nowhere it looks like a budget smartphone to me. At the front you get the drop style notch, and the design is very similar to the previous Realme smartphones from the front, but from the back you'll see it is pretty neat, pretty new, and quite refreshing. Let me remove this sticker and let's take a look at this in full. I mean, this reminds me of premium HTC smartphones. You get a very similar color and there's a dual tone finish to it, and the camera module is also being given a very nice finish with a chrome boundary and a very nice touch yellow concentric circles to the primary sensor. Looks pretty cool. Anyways, let me keep the phone aside and take a look at the other box contents. The adapter on the phone is quite big and hefty, but if you take a look at its rating, it's still the same. I mean, it's a 10 watt adapter, which is faster than 5 watt adapters, but it doesn't really support fast charging. Next you get a micro USB cable, which is not very good in length but quite good in quality. It feels quite sturdy. The SIM ejector tool is left out in the outer box, but you'll see there are no earphones bundled with the device. Anyways, let me pull out the SIM tray on the device and show you the triple slot tray that you get on this phone, which is same as the earlier Realme 2 Pro, a triple slot tray that allows you to expand the storage and put 2 SIM cards on it. We'll also take a look at the full specifications, but let me go through the full design of the smartphone. So at the bottom you'll see it has a micro USB port, which became quite obvious because of the cable. Then there is a speaker grill and microphones and a headphone jack. At the back side you get fingerprint scanner, a dual camera setup with single LED flash, and the Realme logo put at the bottom left corner. On the right side you get the power button, and on the left you get the volume rocker that is split into 2. The earpiece is placed between the phone body and this display, and the front camera goes on the water drop style notch. Now if you talk about the construction of the smartphone, it is made out of plastic, but you'll notice that it is a one continuous piece at the back side. Surely you can make out 2 different pieces that are combined together, the front that is a display part and the back the phone body, but there's no fine line differentiating the back or the frame. It's one continuous piece that gives a very uniform styling to the device, and of course the reflective back makes it look like glass. It's quite an affordable smartphone, but doesn't really look like it will be selling at that price point. Anyways, let me turn on the device and you take a look at the full specifications of the Realme 3. Okay, so this is the Realme 3, and out of the box you'll see it runs a new interface that is probably built on top of the Android 9 Pie. Let me quickly go into the About Phone menu and figure out, yes, So the Android version 9 is used, and there is the new color OS, that is the version 6.0, and it has been given a design overhaul. I mean, you'll see the icon pack is different, the settings menu is totally different. You get the same launch style as the stock Android interface, and it's quite smooth and it's quite a delightful interface now. The drop down menu has also changed a lot. All the toggles have been given a squarish feel and it looks quite nice. Although I think it has taken some cues from Xiaomi, like the brightness bar looks very similar. If you talk about the third party apps, you still have a lot of them and you can remove some of them, I think. And there are some icons that have not changed, like the call or the message button, but I feel it has become quite responsive and smooth. I can feel that from the responsiveness of the interface. I mean, the app pops up within no time and the transitions are very smooth. Apps open in blink of an eye, and if you try to switch between applications, I mean, look at this, the recent apps menu used to be so slow, it's quite fast and so fluid now, and switching between applications is quite a breeze on the new Realme 3. I think Oppo should push this update to all the Realme smartphones. It's quite a cool interface now, and all of the Realme smartphones need to have this. Anyways, let's take a look at the fingerprint and face unlock speeds. So it looks like the face recognition is IR based, but it's not. It's just a funny animation that Oppo has given to the face unlock setup. Anyways, the fingerprint scanner is as fast as ever. We saw this on the Realme 2 Pro. It unlocks the phone in just blink of an eye and it's quite amazing. Also, the face unlock is pretty fast, but again, it's not IR based, and I'll have to check in various lighting conditions how this works. So stay tuned for my review as well. The toggles on the drop down menu can be changed from this option. There are a variety of them and they can be switched between one another, which is quite nice. Also, there's a quick action center like menu that you can pull from any screen, and where you can put shortcuts to access apps from anywhere on the screen. And on the left side you get the smart assistant from Oppo, and on long press you get the Google Assistant. Also, inside the menus you will see a lot of things has become better. For example, these buttons have a very good responsiveness and they are quite user friendly now. And if you will take a look at the options, for example the night shield and other stuff, you can schedule them or enable them at various automatic times. And if you talk about navigation, let me search for that. So the swipe gesture is still available. Let's see how responsive it is. So it hasn't gotten any better. I think it's the same as we used to see with the previous Oppo smartphones. And it's also a little confusing because if you are trying to get the recent apps menu, you will accidentally press the app drawer arrow and the app drawer comes up. So this time around I think virtual buttons would be a better option. It's not only fast and smooth, but it's also quite user friendly. Now if you talk about the display on the Realme 3, it's quite nice. The brightness levels are amazing as it were on the previous Realme smartphones. And if we talk about the color reproduction, let's quickly take a look at that. So it feels like a glossy display that has good color production, although the viewing angles are not very amazing. It's slightly reflective, but the colors are not bad at all. For a 720p or HD resolution, this appears to be quite a good screen. It's amply saturated, it's not very saturated, but it's not a washed out display either. You do get good hang of the colors on the display or on the video that's playing, and you get good overall viewability. But this is a mistake Realme did with its previous smartphones as well. If it is out there to compete with Xiaomi, I think it could have put a full HD display on the Realme 3, because all of the package looks quite sweet and nice to me, but the display quality is not really up there with many other phones in its price segment. And one more bit to the puzzle now is the cameras. So let's quickly test the front camera and then we'll take some shots with the rear camera as well. So the shutter is quite fast and the HDR is turned on by default. Let me turn it off in the settings menu. And if you take a look at the quality, you'll see it's very similar to what we had on the previous Realme smartphones. The details are quite amazing on this phone, and as I zoom in, you'll see the details don't break and the photo remains intact. That is the best thing about Realme smartphones. The cameras are quite nice, and this one also seems to be quite good. It's a 30 megapixel sensor, but the quality is very good. I'll also take some low light samples later, but if you take a look at the interface, the new interface that Oppo has bundled with the camera, you'll see it's quite nice. It's not copying the iPhone's iOS, but is quite original and is quite user friendly as well. You'll see there are not many options dangling around, and if you go into the settings menu, you can then see most of the options, but otherwise the interface at the front is pretty clean. Also, there's a separate beauty mode option that allows you to fiddle with a lot of settings to customize what kind of beauty mode you actually want. Anyways, here are some samples taken from the phone. So overall, the Realme 3 has quite surprised me. I mean, I wasn't expecting this great a look and feel of the smartphone, and the fact that the interface, which was the major pain point for me before with all the Realme smartphones, has been improved drastically. Third-party apps are still there, but the experience is quite improved, and I'm glad that Realme did that, and it should push an update to older Realme smartphones as well. But for now, the Realme 3 appears to be quite a nice option at its price segment. The only drawback right now being the 720p or HD resolution capped on the screen. It's not really a bad thing because the brightness and color quality is quite nice, but then the overall quality may not be as good as what other smartphones could offer. Do let me know what you think about the Realme 3 in the comment section below. Also, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel to get latest videos on technology, smartphones and other gadgets like this. Thank you for watching.